Okay, here we are at another undisclosed location in central Ontario at a 3-season cottage putting in a Starlink. Okay, we have some considerations that we need to make on this. First off is if you look up the line of sight, now we're in about the best possible spot, but if you go that way, you get buried in the trees. If you go that way, you get buried in the trees. We also have a steel roof that's sloping down towards me, which means that the dish can't go anywhere here because ice slide will take it off for sure. So we're very limited in the places that we can get. Good news is we do have a spot. So I'm going to take you over here. And if you look right here, we have the triangular part of the fascia here, which is the nicest spot to put on a steel roof because we're not actually on the roof, we're on the fascia. And for this one, because it's 3-season, there's not going to be anybody here in the wintertime. I'm going to use an extended long arm here with the pipe adapter to get the dish to go on top. That way, if the snow gets up a couple feet, and there's nobody here to deal with it, it'll still be okay. Now this is the problem with the one that Starlink sells. This is their fascia mount. And as you can see, it's not high at all. So it's barely, in fact, the dish itself might even be almost touching the roof. So these are not good for much, but they do have their place, just nowhere near as common as what people think you can use them. Having said all that, let's get the dish together and put it up. Okay, so here we have a standard 4 kit. And with this one, I do like to keep the instructions here handy because there is a certain way to plug the wires in and I haven't done enough of them to remember exactly. So we'll get started out by getting rid of the kickstand that comes with it. So you just pry up on the bottom and push down just like that. We're going to take our 50 feet of cable. The ends are the same on both ends. We're just going to get that through there, tab up, push it in until it's all the way in. Okay, now we have some pieces to go with the mount here. These are little foam pieces that just keep it so the screws don't penetrate too much. So what I do with this is I make sure that I do that and make sure that I see the foam through both of the holes all the way. That way you know it's all the way in. Don't over torque these. You just need to be snug. You don't need to start gouging a hole in the dish. Let's get it locked in there pretty good. Okay, the rest of this is going to go inside of the house or cottage as it were. So I'm just going to show you cable here. So you have 2 different ends. Okay, so this one here goes into the number 1 port on the router, and this one goes into the right side of the power supply. So let's put the arm up and then get the dish up there. Feels all solid there. Sometimes there's nothing here. If that's the case, it doesn't mean don't put it here. It just means you got to put a lot more screws up higher. As you can see, I'm using big heavy legs, and that's because we got a lot of leverage there. Make sure it's like relatively straight up and down. It's not to be perfectly level, you just don't want it to look weird. 3 is definitely going to be enough for that. Now I guess we better transform our ladder into an extension ladder to get up to the top of that. Okay, I make sure I have the Allen key, which I do. Spread this out, make sure I don't get it all tangled. All right, so I'm just gonna set it on top here. Make sure everything seats. That screws in to the point where it's not gonna flop around. We don't want it to fall off. Let's assume it was windy out today. We don't want that to affect it. Okay, after we get it adjusted, then we'll tighten it all down. But it's gonna be something like that. And of course, you want your arm to be straight up and down with these because the tilt is built into the mount. So you won't be able to adjust it. Okay, now for getting the cable inside, hopefully somebody has pre-drilled a hole for us. Oh look, there's a hole. Let's see if this goes anywhere interesting. Okay, so now I'm just going to run in, plug it in, and then while it's warming up and connecting to the satellite side, we'll clip everything and then we'll fine tune it and we'll be done. Okay, so now we're just gonna do the cabling and we're gonna start at the dish and work our way down because all the excess is going inside and we wanna make sure we have it nice and tidy out here. Most important part, clip the tails off. Well, it doesn't want to stay, so we're gonna have to put a clip into the soffit. Okay, so the hole's on that one there, so we're gonna come down, we're gonna run it right there so that it's on the non-sticking out as far part here, because otherwise it's gonna pinch that right in. This is where our drip loop is going. So we're just going to go like this. Now we went down below it and then we're going up. if you had it going this way, the water would want to run down inside the hole. So this is a drip loop. That's how it's done. That is the perfect way to do it. So now I'm going to plug the hole. Okay, so I'm just going to use this putty here, which is duct seal, available at the electrical section at the Home Depot. At least that's where I got it. Stays flexible. I find it works better than silicone, because silicone in a hole this big, sometimes it will fall out after I leave, and then that's no good because then it will leak. This, at least I know I can jam quite a bit of it in there. And that's going to be nice and waterproof. Okay, so this is a tight spot, so I'm going to do the best I can here. As you can see, I had to come through over top of a heater because there's nowhere else that I can reasonably go. It's a very small cottage room. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to put the clip like this, just to keep it from touching the heater. And then I'm going to take my cable tie, my one last cable tie here, and I'm just going to tidy this up. And yes, you can get a plastic plate there and drill a hole in it and make that as tidy as you want to. Typically leave that up to the homeowner. Nobody's really ever complained about it. In fact, nobody's ever complained about it. Okay, so that's going to make this relatively tidy. Once again, it's the responsibility of the homeowner. I think they're going to stick it behind this console here. Okay, there. Now it's up to the customer, and there's your mini router hooked up. Okay, so now I'm going to go up and I'm going to fine tune the dish. Now, if those of you are wondering about this tree right here that's so close to it, the app is going to tell you that that tree's in the way. It's not. It's never been. The entire time, anything's behind the dish, it's never interfered with it. That's why we're as far this way as we can be, not only because that made the most sense. Like, we could have put it there, but we want to make sure all of this stuff is out. So experience tells me this is the best spot. Okay, so after you get it aligned, make sure you tighten all of these screws evenly. Now, one thing I found over the last little while is that after you get it perfectly aligned, a few minutes later, sometimes it'll say that it's out by a few degrees or whatever. Unless it becomes an issue, I wouldn't worry about it. It can be a little finicky that way. Okay, there we go. Install done. Okay, here we are back at the shop here, and just a few notes on the install. Called the customer the next day to check the obstruction report, because technically there is obstructions because of all the trees. So even though it showed some red dots around the obstruction thing, it said that there was no obstruction that was going to cause any kind of outages. So that's a win, okay? Using a limited line of sight, we managed to get, it would have said that the thing needed to be like this, and we managed to do it like that. So it does not, the app is not that accurate. Make sure that you got everything you need to do the install. If you need a longer cable, we'll have them linked down below, because you only get a 50-footer. This one's 150. We use the pipe adapter. Make sure you got that if you have a J-arm laying around. Standard 4 kit. The exact same dish as a Gen 3. There's no change in the dish at all, so don't worry about the mounts. Just a Gen 3 mount is all you need. I just got this today, and we did the install about 3 days ago. So I managed to find a nice long arm on Amazon. And we're going to link to this, of course, and this is a 33.5-inch arm, and it's really well made. So that's going to accomplish the same thing as the arm we did in the video. Obviously, the one I used in the video was an old arm that I found laying around, and it was about 30 to 35 inches or something like that. So I'm going to be ordering a bunch of these. So if you feel like we helped you out and helped you do an install for free, perhaps you won't mind giving us a little bit of a donation to buy me a coffee. We would appreciate it if you do. And be sure to like and subscribe. And we have a bunch of other really cool videos coming up, more installs if you haven't seen what you want on this one. And if you didn't see something in this one, you might want to check out one of the other 2 install videos to see if there's something that we missed in this one. And we got security cameras on deck. So we'll be moving on to those very shortly. All right, so if you haven't ordered one yet, we do have a referral link down below that is going to give you a free month of service, also us as well, but you just click on it, put in your address, and it's going to give you the available plans. And if you want to know specifically kind of about the Starlink and the plans or whatever, we're going to link to our video right there. Okay, thanks for watching.